So when we talk about salty coffees, I think what did I say? Sweet coffees first, do I say? And then we have salty coffees. We describe as soft or neutral, and then sour. The coffees that simulate the sour taste buds, we describe those as whining. Okay, so if you remember years ago, probably from a science class, your sweet taste buds on the very tip of your tongue. Your salty taste buds are on the flat of your tongue, and your sour taste buds are on the sides of your tongue. Okay, and then bitter ones are in the back. Okay, so that's the first place that we're going to go to. We're gonna approach these coffees on where we taste them on our tongue. And that tongue sensation is going to be like somebody had a little toothbrush and they kind of just scrub that part of your tongue. That's the sensation we're looking for. It's your taste buds literally kind of stand up. It's going to stimulate those taste buds. And so we'll first start off going for a sweet tasting coffee. And I usually like to do, what I like to do is go sweet, then I go to winey after that, because those two, the sweet and the winey, are much easier for your mind to zone in on. Right? The salty ones, because it's soft and neutral, that's a harder one to grasp. So you want to go use that one third. Go sweet first, because that sweet sensation is the easiest of the three to pick out. And once you clue into that, once we clue into that one, the other ones will follow along. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, so that's the why I pick sweet first. Right? So if you start going, if you start up with a soft coffee first, you're going to run into a problem right off the bat, because it's going to be very difficult for them to kind of grasp that sensation. Okay, so we always we pick one. Let me maybe just make sure. Okay, that's good. Since I'm special, have my own little spit cup right there. You all have to use these specially imported from India spit cups. Okay. The first thing we have to do is learn about, you notice when I taste that first coffee to test it, I did a slurping motion. And that's one of the critical things. It's probably one of the few physical exercises you have to really master during this in order to kind of really taste it. And slurping coffee, think of it as you've got some really hot soup and you're in a hurry. And you just got to get that soup down. That's what you're doing. You're just kind of slurping it in. We want to slurp it in, and the reason why we're doing that, we're trying to capture as much of those aromatics that are in the coffee as possible, and let those pass through our nasal, the palate, the nasal cavity going in there. So that'll be especially important when we start talking about aroma. But this is something that takes a little bit to master, but it comes pretty easily. The first thing we want to do when we approach a cupping table is we want to just quickly set our palate to the table. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start with the coffee that's directly in front of you. You're going to take a little bit of the coffee. You're going to slurp it in, swish it around a little bit, spit it back out, and move on to the next coffee. Do not try to evaluate it. Do not consider like, oh, that one coffee tastes like this. We're just going to go around and set our palate to the table. So. And I want to hear big, loud slurps. I don't hear them. That's a better one.
I need a napkin.
I know.
Come on, you guys are.
This table is set for tall people.
Funny that.
We'll go drive a Lotus this afternoon.
Yeah, really.
Get things evened up.
Okay, tastes like coffee. Did it all taste like coffee? Pretty much tastes like coffee.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So what I was unsure about is how much to put in my spoon.
Oh,
how much I'm allowing to stay in my mouth,
okay.
when to spit it out.
Those are all up to you. So you want to put enough in there that you can get a sensation of the coffee itself. So not too much where you're going, oh, and you're trying to spit it back out real quickly. So you want to at least fill the spoon well, slurp it in there, and you don't have to really keep it in there for a long time. You're trying to get a snapshot of the coffee. That's really all you're trying to do. You don't want to. You're not moving in. You're just visiting. Okay. All right, so we're all, and the coffees, none of the coffees seemed too hot to me. There was one that was kind of borderline still, yeah. But I think we're at this point, we're pretty close. This is upper edge of how hot you want the coffee to be. Okay, so what I want you to do at this point now, we're going to focus our attention strictly on our tongue. Take your inner mind and just go right and focus all your attention at the tongue. And take this coffee here and give it a slurp. Spit it back out and pay special attention after you spit the coffee out, and pay attention to your tongue and where you find that, like I said, that little scrubby sensation. Okay, so start with that, Yirgacheffe. God, you guys are just timid. Okay, so after you spit it out, wait for a few moments and see if you get a sense of what part of your tongue still seems to be kind of activated, if you would say, right? What part of the tongue feels like it's as if it's somebody's got, like it's got a little electricity kind of plug in there, okay? Can you sense that at all? Try it again. Go ahead. Now obviously you're tasting it everywhere on your whole mouth, but just that sensation of a squiggling. Okay, tell me what we're going to do. See, this is the hardest part, but once you get over this hump, it's going to go real easily. All right, let's try this one. Try the Karnataka right next to it. And notice especially after you spit it out that a different part of your tongue now seems to have this lingering kind of characteristic. Okay, let's go back to the first one. So this time, pay attention to the very tip of your tongue, especially right after that Karnataka. Okay. Can you notice how the tip of your tongue seems to be, it seems like there's almost coffee still left there. Right? Can you pick that up? And then when
it was more the flat of my tongue, but that's
okay. Now this is the thing. You're going to taste it everywhere. Your tongue, you don't only taste one little part of your tongue, right? This is the argument against the idea that sweets here, that. You're tasting everywhere. What we're talking about is what's the dominant part, right? In fact, as I'm talking, I can still feel the tip of my tongue, kind of like as if somebody put some Velcro there or something. Do you sense that? Okay. Here, try that Karnataka again.
Do people have innate bias to certain tastes?
Yeah, I think so. But taste can be learned. And now in this case, it's not, in fact, I'm still tasting the tip of the tongue from the prior one now. Now that's kind of like really standing forward because it's almost as if this one didn't activate that one.
Yeah.
But where do you feel? Do you feel on the sides of your tongue? Right on the very edges where your teeth almost lie? I can almost still taste coffee right there. Mm-hmm. Try it again.
With this one.
Mm-hmm. Just kind of get a little more sensation to it. It's right here. Does it seem a little more present and on the sides of your tongue this time? Okay.
I can discern that one more than the tip of the tongue.
Okay. That's what's kind of cool. So as soon as you start kind of let's go on to this next one here, the San Francisco. Want to hazard to guess? Anyone? Flat, right? It's almost, and it's still there, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now you saw what happened. The very first one I had to prompt. The second one I had to kind of get you going. But by the third one, you got it, right? Let's go back to that very first one again, and I bet you at this point you're just like, oh, frack yeah. Okay. BSG fans? See where I'm getting at? Yeah. Now you can really, that's what we're talking about. It's these dominant sensations. And even though you're tasting those coffees everywhere, it's that activation. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about a sweet coffee. That was, we first tasted sweet. The second one was a winey coffee. So think like when you're having a Chardonnay wine, right? And especially like one of these dry, crisp Chardonnay wines.